Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. We had a little bit of shenanigans before. I don't even know what's happening. You see all these, there's definitely one on my hat right now too. But they're just nosy today. The bees are just like, they're not stinging, they're not really like tapping, they're just nosy. And so is somebody else. What are those, goats?
Yes.
I don't freaking know. Goats over here. Usually they're not always over here. I don't know how big a property this is, but they have this whole field and they're right here. And we got up and I got out of the truck and they're like sniffing and getting in the truck, trying to eat my mic. It's like, what's going on? So anyways, we were messing around with that, and then I'm just gonna talk about this. They start doing laps around the truck. We're in there hiding and they're doing laps around the truck. I don't know, I think they know something. But anyways, today's video is going to be feeding with Reflectix, kind of. So I've got some fondant patties here that are from Hive. I talk about these every single year. They're just something good for this time of the year. It's December 9th, I think, and it's like 40s, I'm thinking, just by the way it feels. I'm not really sure, but we've been in like the 30s kind of, and the lowest we've gotten, I think we got into the teens overnight. I'm not really sure, Fahrenheit or whatever. Yeah. And it's been really warm, warmer than normal. We usually, like, we've had a little bit of snow, but it's usually melted in the next, like 2 days. And it's just been really hot that we've been needing to feed, because when they're kind of out and about like this, they're eating a lot of their winter stores and they're just going through stuff a lot faster when it's warmer. And so we're having to feed a little bit. And also, when it's still warm out like this, we take advantage of it to get a little bit more feed on, because this is our chance to do that. And that's what we're gonna do. There's a couple different ways you can feed this time of the year when it's cold. One of the things that you can do instead of buying these are fondant patties from Hive, and you can get them really anywhere. Do we have a link? I could probably find a link. I don't know. But you can get them at most conferences. I'm pretty sure like Man Lake, Dayton, Hillco, all those places sell it. And they're really good. They're pricey and they are expensive, but they're worth the price for sure, because there's just something about it, especially with these singles. If they just don't look the best and there's not a ton of bees in there, or maybe you just want to build them up really quick, put one of these on, a full patty, and within the next like 2 weeks, they're going to be full, and they always end up looking a lot better. So anyway, you can do those, or if you don't want to spend the price on it, you can do just like a sugar brick this time of year. I don't usually like to do syrup. It's a little bit too cold for that. What can happen is, especially with those inside feeders, you put the syrup in there when it's really cold, and then the bees will get in there, start drinking it, and then it chills their whole body, and they end up dying a lot of the times, and that's how drowning happens. Just a little too cold for that. You can still do a little bit of syrup, but anyways, this is what we're doing. You can also do basically just putting a paper towel down and then taking loose sugar, just normal sugar, and putting it on that paper towel and then spraying it down with water. And it kind of is just like the lazy way of making a sugar brick on top of the hive. I actually have a video for it. Do we want to find it? I'll put it right here. Thanks, Mom. Anyways, I've also got my hat on today. This is a brand new one, fresh out of the box, because the other one has been through it, so I had to get a new one. But I wanted to wear it and kind of show a little bit of what it looks like, just so you guys know what we're going to be taking to the expo, actually. That's so soon, and I don't know when, that's in like less than a month. Yeah, and it's going to go by really fast, especially because of the holiday season, so everything's just flying by. But we're going to have hats, t-shirts, some other fun things that I don't know if I'm talking about. Not yet. Okay. I don't know. Okay, let's get to this actual video here though. So one of the things that I mentioned when we put these Reflectix on is you want to make sure that there's not really any bees on the lid when you put the Reflectix back on, because they can't get out. And I did this as an example, of course, but these bees here were on that lid and they end up dying. So you just want to make sure that when you're going to put these Reflectix on for the first time, you shake that lid either at the front entrance or on top of the hive here That way they're not dying on top. It's the same thing with Apame boxes. There are lids you have to do that with also because they can't get out. So what we're doing is feeding Hive Alive fondant patties on top of the Reflectix. Because you can do this, I think, underneath it, and that's what we're gonna do a little experiment today. I did a bunch of hives yesterday doing this method SD card was full, so we had to change that out real quick. I love having this new camera. It's great, and I think the quality is good, but that's one of the things that you gotta kind of pay attention to. But we had the same problem with iPhone, because we were always running out of space. Back to the video. So what I'm gonna do here is basically, I talked about this actually when I put these Reflectix on, and I said that we're not cutting a V in it because my dad told me we're not gonna cut a V and we're not gonna need it. And I said, I'm pretty sure we're gonna need it and we should cut the V's. He said, nope, and he's my father, so I had to listen, and look who's cutting V's. So anyways, it's fine. But what we're gonna do, I believe this is how Ian Stepler does it, and this is just how I was told to do it, but you can cut a V in your Reflectix just like this, and I'm gonna do that, and then what you do is just pull it back, and then you can put whatever you wanna feed on top of that. So I'm gonna put these fondant patties, and then you can also do this for bucket feeding. So it doesn't really matter where it goes. You kind of want it to be in the middle here because that's where those bees are gonna be. From what I've experienced from yesterday, they don't love this, especially like when you're pulling on this. So they're in here. I'm gonna give them a little bit of smoke now. Oh, you know what? I've got a card in here. This stuff slowly comes out throughout the years. So I gave them a little bit of smoke. They weren't too bad because they're kind of in there, and they're also double deep. But all I'm gonna do here is cut a V from like the middle here. Now, so I was kind of worried in the beginning about slicing bees, but they pretty much get out of the way. Like I said, you can pull it off and then smoke them. You don't really have to. I'm just gonna cut this. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way through. I think, looks like it didn't fully, so you have to kind of. So it's just loud, and it's like it's really loud to them too, because it's right there. But you just pull it off. I did a great job on that too. So you can see it kind of doesn't cut through all of it right there, just because of the frames. But it doesn't matter too much because that'll pretty much work. So then, with your bucket, all you would have to do is pull this back and then put your lid on, and then you take this off and feed normally, and they still have all that insulation here. Now with these, I'm gonna cut a hole in it like I usually do with these fondant patties, and I'm just gonna place it right on top like this. I'll pull it back so I'll show you what that looks like, but I did this yesterday. I haven't checked, I should have looked before we did the video. Maybe we'll do like an update video, I guess, on this, but I don't do it neatly. I just pull it down like this. And then I'm not doing a super big hole, just about that much. I'm gonna do a little bit more. Okay, so then if I'm not using Reflectix, I'll usually cut this whole piece out just so it's quick, easy access to them. But because I'm using the Reflectix, I'm just gonna use a small hole. So what they'll do is they'll go up in there, and then they'll start to kind of go into the side here. They won't actually take away that plastic, so you'll have to come back and pull it off, but they still can get to it. The hole can be like really small, and they'll still get all the way in there. So this should be perfectly fine, but you don't want your V to be too big because then it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the insulation here. But all you do is pull it back and then just lay it down. And that's it. And then whenever I come back to check at it or whatever, this side doesn't have that big sticker on it, so I can see how much of it they've worked. And I don't even have to touch the bees. I don't even have to get into it, open up that hive or anything because of this insulation. So that's kind of the point with this method, It just kind of keeps that insulation there, and I don't have to use any feeder shims because our lid has a built-in one here, but this is where you would put your feeder shim down if you don't have that. If you have like a telescoping lid. Is that what? Yeah, that's right. What's this? This is migratory. Or whatever the heck. But then you just place it on. Now you do want to watch if there's burr comb on the top of this, you want to scrape it off because then it won't fit properly. But like I'm going to make sure that girl's not there or else she's going to die. And then it just fits. So then it's just back to normal like it was, but they have that food on top there. So then with this one, what was I doing with this one? I'm going to put it under. I don't even know how that's going to work, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so here's some more bees on top that didn't make it because they were on that lid. These girls have a bump right here. I think it's probably some burr comb. So we're going to put this underneath and we're going to come back and see. They usually work it within the next like first day or two. So we'll come back and look pretty soon. Yeah, so they don't love that part, but they're definitely not that bad. We have some pretty chill bees. Okay, so these girls, I don't know what it is, but their propolis is just insane. They've got propolis all over this card. That's probably why we never took it off. So that's what that bump was. Sorry. I'm going to see if I can scrape it, just so it lays flat. I don't know if I can though. So propolis actually got this from Bob Benny. I think it was, we were just having dinner or something and he told us. Whenever you have like, maybe you're starting to get a sore throat or a cough or something, propolis is really good for you. And you can just take a small piece, like this much, and just stick it like under your tongue or whatever. And it usually gets rid of that within the first day or two. And so we'll do that sometimes, but that's just a small little tip. I don't think I can scrape this. This is the Hive IQ hive tool. I don't think I have the muscles for this. Who was it? It was Tom Stotzman? Yeah. That's how you say his last name? Yeah. He said something in my comments. I almost deleted it. I'm kidding. Just kidding. Whatever. Yeah, they don't love that. They're stinging me now. That was dumb. Okay. We'll call that good, and we'll just lay it down. So then it's just the same thing. So this is just like if you would use it normally. So we're just going to cut a hole. Now, because it's going to go flat on here, I'm probably going to make the hole a little bit bigger. So let's cut this. The smoker is crazy. This is probably going to be a long video of just talking. But we'll come and do an update and see how they're looking. And if they end up, I'm going to do, I think, the rest of them like I did on this hive. So if that doesn't end up working, I'll be coming back and moving all of them to the bottom, which will suck, but that's okay. So that just goes on top. And also, because I'm in here, they look pretty good, actually. They're not, when I first opened it up, you could see all those bees on top. So they look pretty good, especially when we've had all that snow that we did get. So that's good. I'm going to put this on top now. This is where I'm not sure how this will work. I think it's just going to kind of sit a little funny. We'll see. I don't even know if it'll, okay, so it kind of goes down, but there's a little bit of a gap. So the thing about this method is that insulation looks like it's pretty much flat, but the lid is a little messed up.
Maybe put a brick on it?
Yeah, you could put a brick on it, but we don't have enough bricks for all of these hives. But anyways, so that's why if this method works, that's going to be really nice because then we don't have to worry about that insulation popping up. Also, the wind over here is really bad and these lids will fly off if they don't have any propolis on them. and this lid is pretty loose, if you know what I'm talking about. So it'll just kind of fly off, and that actually happened to one of these. That's the only thing about this insulation that I've noticed. They can't get to that lid, so they can't propolize it, and then they just slide off like this. Like, I didn't touch this lid and it was just like that. The insulation's still on there, but the lid did slide, so we'll have to fix that. But that's kind of the only thing that I've noticed on these. But we're gonna go ahead and do this on the rest of these hives, and this will just give them a boost over winter, give them a little something, and we'll keep doing this probably throughout December, depending on how cold it gets. We don't have our serious winter until about February, so this is just the beginning of it. It kind of feels like we've been in winter for a while now, but we really haven't, and we really haven't had our winter at all. So anyways, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll do an update on that. I'll leave some links over here in the description or whatever. I think that's it. So thanks for watching today's video. Follow along for more bee adventures, and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.